Hey guys, it's Gary from Rise of the Gay Cinephiles. Just giving a trigger warning that given some of the films within the era we're discussing, these episodes may include discussions surrounding sexual assault and various types of discrimination. And I'd also like to give a disclaimer that although we've done our research and watched many films for this season, we haven't watched every single Millennial teen film. As difficult as it was, we've somehow managed to narrow it down to the most relevant ones. But if we've missed any out that are your favourites, feel free to give us some recommendations. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to Rise of the Gay Cinephiles, the show where we, two gay cinephiles who watch way too many films, discuss various themes and eras of cinema. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And for this season, we're making our way through the teen cinema boom of the late 90s and early noughties. Welcome back to Scream If You Know 10 Things I Hate About Bandcamp, or how millennial teen movies taught me everything I know about sex, friendship, and the American dream. And this is 1998 Part 2.
Yes.
So the
1998,
first
such a jam-packed year.
Yeah.
We've had to split it down the middle.
Yeah, previously on Rise of the Gay Cinephiles, we were discussing the gay half of 1998. Yes, the straight half.
Yes.
Well, kind of.
Kind of, but yes.
But yeah, because this is just part 2 of 1998, we will be getting straight into it and taking a sort of, which by the way, it does mean you will get a bumper What's New with Chris and Gary on the 1999 episodes. Taking things from what was some rom-coms and erotic thriller and such in part 1, we are now going to a bit of action with Small Soldiers.
They were designed
Reporting for duty, sir.
Wow, voice activated.
to be the ultimate plaything.
Playtime's over.
But now, they're the ones toying with us.
Truth, deploy.
No mercy,
Beans at 12 o'clock. How about some R&R, sir?
no surrender, no warranty.
I'm pretty messed up, sir.
Small Soldiers.
Everything else is just a toy.
This film is not yet rated. Starts Friday, July 10th.
Directed by Joe Dante. Written by Gavin Scott, Adam Rifkin, Ted Elliott, and Terry Rossio.
Ted Elliott.
Ted Elliott.
That sounds so
Fred
close
Elliott.
to Fred Elliott. If you know, you know.
Starring, and I love that she's top billed cast, Kirsten Dunst,
Yes, good for her. This is post Jumanji, wasn't it?
post Jumanji,
Yes.
and was it Interview with a Vampire she was in?
Yeah, but I feel like this Jumanji was like quite successful. I mean, this is the same. This is your same audience as Jumanji.
That is true. That is true. But either way, it is great to see that she's becoming a star. And we will only see her in more stuff, especially once we get to 1999. Also starring Gregory Smith, Jay Moore, and Phil Hartman. And the premise is, when missile technology is used to enhance toy action figures, the toys soon begin to take their battle programming too seriously. So a bit of history on the film. Joe Dante wanted the cast of Predator to voice the Commando Elite.
Nice.
Which makes sense. On making the film, director Joe Dante recalled, "Originally I was told to make an edgy picture for teenagers. Or when the sponsor tie-ins came in, the new mandate was to soften it up as a kids film. Too late as it turned out, and then it was too late as it turned out once the script was written, and there are elements of both approaches in there. Just before release, it was purged of a lot of action explosions." Yeah, we will get to that. But also, Stan Winston learned a lot about the toy business through his close relationship with Hasbro throughout making this film. We found out what it really takes to make a great toy. To make it stand out on the shelf, we learned how the joints of toys worked, all the mechanics that go into them. The whole thing was an education, and we had to create a toy line that was extremely successful for Hasbro. In fact, sales for the Small Soldiers toys outperformed the film.
Oh, wow.
And it was also subject to a bit of controversy in 2000 when filmmaker Gregory P. Grant filed a lawsuit against Steven Spielberg, DreamWorks Pictures, and Universal Pictures, alleging that they had infringed on the copyright of his 1990 short film Ode to G.I. Joe. Grant claimed that he had met with Amblin Entertainment, who did produce this film, in 1991 to discuss the potential to expand his short into a full feature. The project went as far as commissioning a treatment from Grant and a 16mm copy of the short film at Steven Spielberg's request, but according to Grant, Amblin dropped the project. However, Grant added that Amblin pushed another film at the time titled Toy Soldiers into development nearly a month after Grant's project was passed on. Grant's attorney stressed that several scenes and ideas from Small Soldiers were too similar and taken outright from Grant's short film and treatment.
Did he win?
That is information that I've struggled to find. But yeah, interesting.
They'll fuck you over, won't they? It's at the end of the day, business, show business, emphasis on the business, will always put the pound or the dollar before anything else. That's really sneaky. If well, I mean, obviously you've just read it from a website, so
yeah.
But if he won, that's really snaky.
Yes. Defending lawyers argue that Small Soldiers was created independently by DreamWorks. The case was complex, with reports suggesting DreamWorks obtained a license for similar concepts from Grant's estranged ex-wife, which they argued should defeat the infringement claim. There's no real... Yeah, it's a bit all over the place. But anyway, yes,
His
that
ex-wife,
happened.
who had a large deposit in her bank account right before she told everyone that this happened.
But yeah, really interesting about the themes of the film and how it was targeted, and also about the toys outselling the film. Now, for me, I had the action figures. I had the CD single for Another One Bites the Dust by Queen featuring Wyclef Jean. I had the Burger King toys.
Nice.
I had a big Burger King tie-in. I had the VHS. I was obsessed with this kit. It went double platinum in my house. Certainly didn't flop in there. I loved it. I loved it so much. I still love it now. It's so nostalgic. For me, this is a film for kids who thought they were too old for Toy Story, but weren't old enough to watch Child's Play.
Yeah, it does inhabit a weird place between kids film and teen film, because some of the themes would go over a child's head, but the silliness, the toys, the action, kids would enjoy. I think it does it successfully.
Yeah.
I think it's a real fun film. I think Joe Dante is the perfect director for that kind of film, because he kind of did it similarly with Gremlins.
Yeah, this is very similar to Gremlins. I mean, I think this is a film about the dangers of militarized technology and corporate consumerism.
And AI.
But very much, I mean, I think it holds up so well. But also, it's very valid for this season because it is, at its core, a teen film about a very troubled teen as well. Like, lead character Alan goes to therapy. He created a bomb scare at his last school and was rumoured to have burnt the school down.
Yes.
So, he's troubled. He's not the most likeable character. Those curtains are the image of 1998.
So
that is what 1998 looked like. But then you got Kirsten Dunst, who I think balances it out really nice because she's so likable and she's not like the other girls.
She's not, and she hates her dolls.
She does.
She has the girly dolls. What are they called? Remind me.
The Gwendy dolls.
Gwendy dolls. She's got lots of Gwendy dolls, but she's too grown up for them. She likes boys. And she's usually into older men as well.
She does say she is into older men.
She's into older men.
Yeah, which is very interesting. It's very Joe Dante because, again, that is something that is so in there for an older audience to laugh at.
Yeah.
And I think that's his thing. He does take he makes a lot of gateway horror, I find. And I would say this is a horror film per se, but there's horror elements.
Gateway action?
Yeah.
I mean, is this somewhere...
This is a war film.
Where his reference point was Predator for the voices.
But there are references to Apocalypse Now.
Pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really, really interesting film. I do think it goes on a little too long, to be fair. I do think, even for a teen film, I think when you pass the hour and a half mark, for any kind of film like this, you have to earn it. And I just don't think it did. But I do think it's a hell of a fun ride. It's very, very 90s. Incredibly 90s. The idea that the toys would sell more than the film is incredibly 90s. So 90s and 80s as well. You look at shows like He-Man, Transformers, all of those kind of things. They were only created to sell toys, and that did continue into the 90s, and yeah, apparently into 1998 as well. I wasn't too familiar with this film in 98.
I was about to ask.
I knew it existed, but I didn't. I thought it wasn't my kind of thing. I thought it was too... how do I say this? Manly.
Okay.
I didn't realise Kirsten Dunst was in it. I thought it was like, oh, it's soldiers, it's Action Man,
You
it's
didn't
that
realise
kind of thing.
Sarah Michelle Gellar and Christina Ricci
Exactly.
are voicing Gwendy dolls.
Exactly. By 1998, I was watching Friends and understanding like half the comedy in it. But I thought I was maybe a little too sophisticated for Small Soldiers in 1998. Did it do well on VHS?
I'm not sure.
Because I feel like if it did, I feel like we would have gotten a sequel.
Yeah.
I feel like if it really did incredibly well in any aspect, like, yeah, the toys outsold the film. But
It was a video game.
the video game, but I feel like we would have gotten Small Soldiers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really interesting film. I didn't watch it growing up. I've watched it as an adult, obviously, a couple of times now. And what I got from the film is probably different to what I would have gotten in 1998.
Yeah.
What I do see it as a anti-AI, very resonant now. Anti-war.
Mm-hmm.
Like, war is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly stupid. What is it good for? Ask Wyclef Jean and...
Wow.
and who else? No, who did the war? What is it good for? Was that Bones and Harmony?
Are they not called War?
No, War is...
Edwin Starr.
Edwin Starr is the original, but they did a version at the end of the film, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Which is also an incredibly late 90s.
Yeah, so the soundtrack...
have that.
Yeah, the soundtrack is just rock music and rap music.
Yeah. Oh, Bones, Fugs and Harmony with Flesh and Bone and Henry Rollins, Tom Morello and Flea did their version of War.
They tried to do something with this film and the soundtrack. They really tried to create something interesting, blending rap and rock. This is like the origin of the Linkin Park and Jay-Z collaboration.
I love that. But I really enjoyed that aspect as well, because it does take me back to a time.
Yeah.
In the 90s, it does take me back to childhood. Even now, this film wasn't part of my childhood, but just having that kind of music, that's a real throwback. Yeah, I don't think you get that now.
No, I don't think so.
No, especially you get Lady Gaga and Doechii.
Yeah, I think it's a completely different thing. But one thing with the soundtrack is Led Zeppelin have a song or two on there, and they rarely give the rights to people to use their music.
Oh, wow.
So it was quite amusing that they chose it for this. But also, there's a very iconic needle drop of Wannabe by the Spice Girls.
Yes.
By this point, I mean, in 1998, it's hot shit. That is like the song
it's kind of insulting.
Of the moment. It kind of.
In the film.
There's two halves to it.
It's kind of... They use it as a torture device.
They do, yes. And there's a comment about that. But then also, one of the mums of the two families, oh God, I can't remember her name. She's like,
Magnuson.
No, she says this is a sort of torture.
Oh.
And the other one's like, I love this song. I think it's Wendy Schaal. And I think all of the parents provide really great comedic performances.
Yes. I love Anne Magnuson when she's
With a tennis.
knocking the flaming tennis balls back.
There's one thing Joe Dante does really well. It's creating mums who fight back against small things. Attacking them.
Absolute queens. Scene that probably my favourite scene is the reference to Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes, where the Bride of Frankenstein score is used.
Yes,
In that
love that scene.
That
Love
entire
everything
Gwendy
about
thing is
that.
the best sequence in the film.
I agree.
That,
I really
the voice
enjoyed that
acting
energy.
from Sarah Michelle Gellar and Christina Ricci is fantastic.
So funny, very campy. Yeah,
I like special effects as well. I think they've, you can tell it's CGI from 1998, but not to the point where it's distracting.
No.
And the practical effects are really good. But going back to that Spice Girls needle drop, the one thing I like about that is that at the time, the song was everywhere. It was huge. Obviously, I was obsessed. Probably part of the reason why I love this film. Now when I hear Wannabe, I'm kind of like, ugh, again. But whenever I hear it in this film, it never fails to make me laugh. It still works so well.
Yeah. And I think the film also says something with the Gorgonites. We haven't really mentioned them. So the Gorgonites are the good toys, essentially.
Yeah.
Very peaceful. They're looking to find their home. So I think they represent, in many ways, sort of refugees.
Yeah.
And obviously the soldiers themselves, they represent America and American military and essentially the war crimes that America has and continues to commit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of heavy stuff for a kid's film, but I do think it does it really well.
Yeah.
Because so as an adult, I can watch this and go like, oh wow, they're saying something here. And what a good sort of kids film does, it can say those things and teach kids in a way that, number one, isn't condescending, but also doesn't go over their heads. They know, well, I hope they don't, because also I realise now that the marketing is all about the small soldiers and not about the Gorgonites.
No, I only had the Gorgonites. I only had the Gorgonites growing up.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Oh. But I'm looking at a poster, a good poster, a really great poster. But I am looking at a poster and realising that, it is the soldiers. And
Well, it's a way of roping people in. It'll get people in,
It's true.
and then it'll teach them a lesson.
And then teach them.
And I like that it's, the monsters also represent othered people. And of course, we're talking about teen cinema. And,
Yes, of course.
if for any teenagers who are part of a marginalised community, seeing something like this, they'll find something to resonate with these characters. And, I always loved that they were so different. And I like that it's Joe Dante's not trying to do the ambiguous, are the monsters the villains or the heroes? Like, no, these are the good guys.
Yeah.
These are monsters, but they are the good guys. Like, the one toy that resonates with Frankenstein's monster, it's like, you look horrifying. You look like something out of a horror film. But you're a good guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't try and hide that or
No.
go around it in any way. And the all-American soldiers are the bad guys.
Yes. Yeah. Did you ever play the game?
I didn't play the game, but it's in the world of the toys, rather than the toys going around fighting as toys.
Okay.
As characters.
Yeah. Oh. What was it for? PlayStation?
PlayStation 1, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, it has an IMDb rating of 6.3 out of 10, a Letterboxd rating of 3.3 out of 5. I gave it on this rewatch 5 out of 5. It is filled with nostalgia for me. Maybe that's why I've rated it so high, but I love it. It's definitely a comfort film.
Yeah, I gave it 4 out of 5. I highly recommend If anyone remembers 1998, it'll give you some real good nostalgia as well.
And it has kids on bikes as well, a classic Amblin thing.
Yes.
Stephen King and Steven Spielberg.
Yes, and that haircut.
Well, yes. Soundtrack rating, it's 10 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Best song is Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar featuring Queen Latifah.
Of course. Absolute Stone Cold classic, that song. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I think there was some cringe song / remixes, not Love is a Battlefield, obviously. But it's fun in a 90s way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fashion rating, I gave 5 out of 10.
4 out of 10. It's
The 5 is purely for Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, but even then, I maybe should have had a 5 for the Gwendy dolls.
Oh, yeah.
But I give it 4 out of 10 because it's pretty basic 90s stuff. It's what I'm finding with these episodes is that some films, the fashion, I'm looking at you, Clueless, is one of the highlights of the films. But then others, it's like, we just went to the Gap.
Yeah. Believable Teens, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Moving on to a different kind of film, but also a film that is definitely talking about the state of America. It's Pleasantville.
This fall,
Do you mind?
tune in
We're in Pleasantville?
and take a trip to Pleasantville,
I'm pasty.
where a perfect town
I didn't think you'd want to come here until we've been pinned.
You can pin me anytime you want to.
is about to discover
You're messing with the whole universe.
Maybe it needs to be messed with, David.
its true colors.
You can't stop something that's inside you.
Pleasantville,
Spreading all over the place. Look at her books. Look at her sweater.
rated PG-13, starts Friday, October 23rd.
Written and directed by Gary Ross, starring Tobey Maguire, Jeff Daniels, Joan Allen, and Reese Witherspoon. And the premise is two 1990s teenage siblings find themselves transported to a 1950s sitcom where their influence begins to profoundly change that colourless, complacent world. A bit of history for this film. Since every scene from the middle of the film on had to be in some way digitally changed to have black and white characters interact with characters who are in colour, technically this film had the most digital effects shots until The Phantom Menace the year after. At one point, when Jennifer tries... I think you'll really appreciate this fact, by the way. I know I did. This is one of our favourite facts about another film, but... At one point, when Jennifer tries to use a bathroom, there aren't any toilets. Which is a reference to the FCC ruling during the 1950s, which stated that toilets, or any reference to their use, such as the sound of flushing, could not be presented on television. While this continued on broadcast television well into the late 70s, the barrier in films fell in 1960, 2 years after the Pleasantville scenario, when Alfred Hitchcock persuaded the film censors to allow the flushing of a toilet in Psycho, because it was integral to the iconic shower scene.
Yes.
Love that shower. I love the toilet fact about Psycho.
Yes.
Very clever of this film to include it like that.
Yeah. Everyone knows that Psycho scene where Janet Leigh has poo. And... but no, I love that attention to detail.
Yeah.
I do love
this film
that.
fully respects its references and what it's
Yeah,
going for.
absolutely.
For example, in the original screenplay, the TV repairman was going to be named Rob and played by Dick Van Dyke, who played Rob Petrie on the Dick Van Dyke Show. In a subsequent
I always
draft,
found that really confusing.
Yeah. In a subsequent draft, the name in the script was simply TV repairman, leaving room for Don Knotts. Knotts played Deputy Barney Fife in the Andy Griffith Show. When Knotts dropped out of Andy, Dick's brother Jerry Van Dyke was considered to play the replacement deputy, but this did not happen. But all that comes together, and I think still getting someone from a show like that to play the TV repairman's fantastic. Nice little nod. And yeah, Pleasantville. I was pleasantly surprised by this film that is a social allegory for conservative America, responding to cultural changes such as the civil rights movement and the sexual revolution of the 60s. WandaVision before WandaVision.
Yeah, I think to a certain degree, I think WandaVision was influenced by Pleasantville. Absolutely. what I love about Pleasantville is that it is nostalgic for a time, but also makes you very aware that hindsight can sometimes come with rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
And we look at, and I think the worldview, but America in particular, looks at that post-war America, 1950s, isn't everything pleasant, isn't everyone nice, sort of media that was so prevalent at the time, looks at that and says, actually, now we know it wasn't so great.
Yeah.
And there were good and bad. But I think essentially what the film is saying, well, what a difference 40 years makes. And we can look back now and realise that, okay, it wasn't all raindrops, lollipops and rainbows.
Yeah, because let's be honest, conservatism was and is used to promote ignorance and enforce repression towards marginalised communities. And, of course, this film, the focus of that is women.
Yes.
And how they were treated in the 50s and how men benefited from the way women were treated in the 50s. And this is dealt with in a comedic way, but also in a very serious way as well. I think Joan Allen, who plays the mother of the family on TV, is phenomenal.
Very good.
So good in this film. And her storyline between her and Jeff Daniels and William H. Macy, genuinely interesting. Like, actually interesting and way more layered than I thought this film would be. I thought it was just going to be a silly comedy, silly rom-com. It's so much more than that.
Yeah.
It's so much more.
Because what is essentially... It is a teen film in that...
Yes, it is a teen film.
Reese Witherspoon and Tobey Maguire are really our leads. Tobey Maguire specifically
it is Tobey Maguire's
the lead.
film.
It's his film. And it's him as a teen who is so enamoured with this sitcom that he was willing to stay up all night to watch it. And he escaped into that kind of world whilst watching it.
Yeah.
And looked at that world from the perspective of, oh, gee, wasn't everything great back then? I don't understand the modern world in 1998. And then in him going back and him existing in that world, he realises that actually it's not so great.
Yeah.
And so with him at the centre makes it a teen film. But I think the most interesting story arc, like you said, is Joan Allen's.
Yeah.
And that is of a mother, a stay-at-home mother and wife, whose life is colourless.
Yeah.
Like, black and white is a lack of colour. And the big sort of moments in the film come where people go from black and white to colour.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what the film is about. It's in all the marketing and everything. And it's makes such a heartwarming but interesting film. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. And it's incredibly well made as well. The cinematography is beautiful. The way it blends black and white and colour, it looks so good. The scene where Joan Allen's getting her makeup put on by Tobey Maguire, that was actually green. And then edited later on to be grey, so she sat there with a green face.
Yeah.
Just everything about it is so good. It's so well made. But one thing that we really need to talk about here, which I found incredibly interesting, is the fact that if this film was released today, released tomorrow, this week, last week, next week, 2026, no one would bat an eyelid because it fits the state of America right now.
Yes.
Perfectly. What were you saying, Don't You Dare About?
I thought you were going to suggest that if this film was made now, it would have referenced 1986.
No, God, no. Look, This podcast season exists for a nice bit of nostalgia for people, and you know, us analysing 90s and 2000s teen cinema. We're not here to make you feel old, so please ignore Chris. No, I'm saying that politically, this film is spot on for 2026. I mean, aged gloriously. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean,
because it didn't pack a punch when it first released. It didn't make a lot of money. It was a flop. But now, there's so much to appreciate.
Well, you look at that orange prick over the pond. Mm-hmm. His nostalgia is for the 50s.
Yeah. He thinks women should be treated like this.
Exactly. He has a nostalgia because he is, I don't know, 100 years old. You know, running the country over there. He thinks the world should still be 1950s, and that a woman should have her own, should have a place, and that's in the home, in the kitchen, not in the workplace.
Yes. So when the men in this film hold so firmly onto their beliefs of how women should be treated, that in 2026 can be translated as the way people in power. And, you know, not even just in America, in the Reform Party in the UK, how people of a certain power on a certain side of history, how they think women should be treated.
Yeah.
And I think it is incredible that Gary Ross has created such a timeless film, but also incredibly sad that it can be such a timeless film.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. In terms of teens, I think where the film engages most with teen culture is with Jennifer, the Reese Witherspoon character. So she's a bad girl in the 90s. So she smokes, she likes boys, she doesn't really care too much about school. Mm-hmm. She thinks that the 1950s sitcom is uncool.
Yeah.
And her brother is uncool for enjoying it. And they're both sent into the TV. And her arc is, for me personally, a low point in the film, because she, I don't know how to say it without spoiling it, but she changes, but her change is because she identified as a slut. Her words used.
But do you not think that's interesting compared to how she wanted to be more like where she was in the 50s, whereas the mum of the family, Joan Allen, she wanted to be more progressive. She wanted to move forward. So Reese Witherspoon wanted to move back. Joan Allen wanted to move forward.
To be my
that's what I took from it anyway.
My issue was it's that Jennifer, she couldn't enjoy sex and be an educated girl.
Yeah.
I think that was my problem, is that because she wanted to, you know, in the 50s, in that sort of teen culture, she was like, oh, you know, I can start reading books. What was the book she started reading? Was it D.H. Lawrence, Lady Charlie's Lover?
Yes.
I think it was. And she discovered her love for books. And a lot of books about sex anyway. And then she said, oh no, I'm tired of being a slut. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, ooh, can a woman not enjoy sex and be educated too? Yeah. That was the one where I was like, are you gone too much in the opposite direction? And also I found that her character was kind of forgotten for the majority of the film, which I didn't find Tobey Maguire's character, David, the most interesting.
No, I just thought he was a vehicle to move the plot along, to be honest.
Yeah. But I really loved the film. That was really my only gripe with the film, was that I could have just had Jennifer be a little more rounded. Because she is the one that introduces teen sex to the film. Yeah. And this is a season where we're talking about teen sex. And the teen sex does bring colour to the black and white world. Uh-huh. But also, it's... And I don't think they really discuss it in the film. But also, it's not safe teen sex.
No.
But they don't actually discuss that in the film.
No.
No. Unless it is. I mean, they don't mention condoms, actually. Because when they were talking about one of the teen girls, she was slowly getting colour into her on her skin and such, slowly being colorized. I thought they were talking about an STI. I was like, oh, are they talking about an STI? I was like, oh no, it's the premise of the film.
Interesting. I didn't think of it like that. But...
No, I think it's an interesting aspect of the film. The way that obviously sex is looked at from the 90s to the 50s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not looked at all in the 1950s. One thing that did make me giggle was the horror at a double bed being sold in the shop rather than two single beds.
That's another one of those nice little details of how couples in the 50s films would always be in separate beds.
Oh, could you imagine being that conservative?
I know.
Like, they're fucking married. How do you think? I know they've got 2 kids. How do you think the kids were made? Like,
do we think Donald and Melania sleep in the separate beds?
No.
I mean, if she had any sense, then
Donald, he sleeps in a casket, and Melania sleeps upside
Jeffrey Epstein's
down
island.
in the
No, she's not friends with him. She's not friends with him. She's not friends with him.
Well, no, she has to. She has to be plugged in overnight.
She does.
She has to be charged. So, twats.
Yeah, this has an IMDb rating of 7.5 out of 10, a Letterboxd rating of 3.7 out of 5. I give it a 5 out of 5.
I give 4.5 out of 5.
Which I think for both of us is probably higher than we expected to give Pleasantville.
I
remember it being on Sky all the time.
My history with the film is I watched it. I had it on VHS. I watched it because I really loved Reese Witherspoon after watching Cruel Intentions for the first time. So I was going through their filmography, her and Sarah Michelle Gellar, and I had it on VHS and I watched it. I was like, oh yeah, that was fine. That was pleasant. And now we watched it, how many years later, and it's like, oh okay, wow, this is really fascinating and really delves into nostalgia. Yeah, really, which is funny because this whole season is about our nostalgia for the late 90s. So, and I think potentially we've come to maybe sometimes similar conclusions, and we will continue on our journey, particularly at some films coming up where it's like, oh, wow, that was it. No one batted an eyelid back then, but now it's like, that's not great.
This was nominated for some Oscars. It was nominated for Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, and Best Soundtrack. And I completely agree because this soundtrack is a 10 out of 10 from me.
Totally agree, 10 out of 10.
For the score, for the doo-wop needle drops, and also for my best song of the film, Across the Universe by Fiona Apple.
Nice. For me, So What by Miles Davis is a tremendous jazz composition, one of the best of all time. Yeah. So I have to give it to that.
Fashion rating 10 out of 10. Especially, for what it's going for and for the costume design. I know I said I would base these decisions on what I think of the fashion and stuff, but it's hard not to admire how great the costume designs are here.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're great fashions as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we don't dress like that anymore because there's a lot that goes into it, but it doesn't mean they're not incredibly stylish and beautiful and very well made. Yeah. So, moving... Oh, Believable Teens.
Yeah, I
think so, yeah.
Absolutely.
Tobey Maguire always has that kind of energy about him. And he probably was a teen back then, actually.
He probably was. Until he gets to Spider-Man, then I feel like he looks like he's in his 30s.
No.
All 3 of those films. Going from... And this is very fascinating for me, comparing these 2 films together. Going from the 1950s to the 1980s, the next film is SLC Punk.
Meet Steve-O and Bob. They're the only 2 punks living in Salt Lake City.
What the hell are you? We're from England. That's why we seem so weird to you, man.
With only one way to escape.
Bagua!
Critics say it's John Hughes meets Sid and Nancy. Truly original, fresh and hip, and in your face.
I am the future of this great nation.
Matthew Lillard, Michael Gorgon, Salt Lake City Punk.
I didn't sell out, son. I bought in.
Rated R.
Written and directed by James Merendino, starring Matthew Lillard, Michael Gorgon, Annabeth Gish, and Jennifer Lean. And the premise is, in the early 1980s, Steve-O and Heroin Bob are the only two dedicated punks in conservative Salt Lake City. Steve-O originally meant to have bleach blonde hair.
Yes.
But the peroxide burned Lillard's scalp, leaving a hideous mess, and he had to dye it blue to hide it.
Like Millhouse.
This is two facts. This is Matthew Lillard's favourite film of his own.
Nice.
And fact number 2, Union Jack is a fag.
Okay.
An actual quote from this film.
Yes.
Personally, as homosexuals, we would not like to be compared to the Union Jack.
No.
But Matthew Lillard, you can call us faggots whenever you like.
Yeah.
He recently said in an interview he doesn't say the F slur in day-to-day life because he loves the gays.
Yes. Yeah.
And he loves trans people as well.
Time.
He is a great, great human being, is Matthew Lillard. Any history with this film?
Not at all.
No?
No, not even close. I probably saw the poster maybe or the VHS back in the day, but I had little interest in watching it.
So my friend who we had on Horror Cult Trash Over, Xander, made me a mix CD, and it had the cover of Mirror in the Bathroom from this film on there, and I think maybe 2 other songs from this soundtrack, and I was obsessed, and he told me they're from this film, SLC Punk, which he had, and he put it on for me, and I was blown away. And this is one of those early examples of, because growing up I watched a lot of horror films, I watched a lot of superhero films, I watched a lot of comedies and stuff. This is one of those early examples of me watching this at the right time in my life. I had just started I'd started my second or third punk band. I was obsessed with punk music, and this felt like I was watching, for lack of a better word, a proper film. It felt like I was watching something special, something incredible, and I think it still holds up so well now. I think it is fantastic. It's like a punk version of Quadrophenia, the American punk version of Quadrophenia, because apparently to this film, mods existed in America as well. Who knew? But I think above all else as well, I fully agree with Matthew Lillard about this being his favourite film of his. I think this is his best performance. I think he is phenomenal in this film.
As always, he gives it 110%, but this film warrants 110%.
It does.
It's a frenetic performance, if that's the word I'm looking for. He plays a character that maybe has too much energy.
Yeah.
That is very angry with the world in many ways. And yeah, it works. His performance is great, and I think he was the perfect choice for the character.
Yeah. I think it's a film about hypocrisy, identity, and class. And Matthew Lillard's Steve-O is particularly interesting in that he comes from a rich background.
Yes.
His parents are middle class, and he is fine to tell them that he's rebelling against it, but he's also benefited a lot from them. And he never completely shut them out of his life. Like, there's a one scene where he has a quiet conversation with his dad in a car away from his friends. So he talks a lot about posers on the punk scene, when in reality, and with where things go without spoiling it, by the time the film finishes, you're left questioning, was Steve-O a poser?
Yeah.
Did he even like punk music?
Yeah.
It's... Whereas someone like Heroin Bob, I feel like he was an actual punk. I feel like he actually liked the music. I feel like he took pleasure in the fashion of it all, and I feel like he just felt a lot more sincere.
Yeah.
But also, he's such a... I think he's a very layered character, Heroin Bob. I think it's very interesting, especially the fact his name is Heroin Bob. He's scared of needles. He doesn't like hospitals or doctors and such. And yeah, he's... I'm trying to think of the right word to use here. But I guess a word that a lot of people would use is he's very soft for a punk.
Yes.
He's very, I don't know, anxious, laid back, and yeah.
Yeah, I think what the film, I think, talks about is what is it to be cool? What is it to have the... what is it to be in a clique or in a group?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? What is it to be cool? The idea of sincerity is a huge part of the film. And being a poser, i.e. insincere, is the worst crime imaginable.
Yeah.
Refreshingly, that and racism is the worst crime possible. Because they're seen as people who aren't sincere, aren't punk. But what is it to be a punk? What is it to be cool? What is it to fit into the punk aesthetic, the punk lifestyle? You know, is it self-destruction? Is it self-destructive behavior? Is it drugs? You know, is it not caring? But then the idea of being fed up and anarchist means you have to care about something.
Yeah.
So is it bad to care about things, to enjoy things and to embrace those things in life that bring you joy and bring joy to your world? Is it a bad thing to embrace that if others don't think it's fits into a certain lifestyle? There's a very interesting conversation that Matthew Lillard has with a love interest on a sofa, where she basically says, well, why can't you just enjoy whatever you enjoy?
Yeah.
Like, why can't you just dress however you want to dress?
Yeah.
You know, the Jason Segel, is that his name?
Yes, Jason Segel.
Yeah, his character doesn't dress like the other punks, but his punk attitude, as they would describe it, is from his love of fighting.
Yeah.
So where does that fit? Does fighting make you cool? Does it depend who you're fighting? Or is that toxic masculinity? There's a scene where Matthew Lillard, Steve-O, describes the feeling of fighting, and that makes him feel more alive than anything else. So is pain necessary? Is that a necessary feeling to feel alive? Or is this whole thing and them, you know, living this punk lifestyle, particularly Steve-O, when his upbringing is nothing of the sort, and he has a comfort in his middle class parents, allowing him to be this, you know, is he a poser?
Yeah,
Is he just full of shit? And how much of it is just posery bullshit? Like, if you're not doing the groundwork, if you're not really doing it, and you're just telling everyone that you're punk, or you're an anarchist, but you're not actually doing it, then are you just full of shit?
Yeah. And this is the thing, I think this is why it's so important to discuss this film during this season. Because these are the sort of things that are on teenagers' minds all the time. Or at least they were then. You know, I mean, I always questioned, because I was in so many punk bands, I questioned how punk I was, because there was a lot of other music that I liked elsewhere that I didn't like admitting because of being outed as a gay man. So, you know, it didn't really feel authentic as such. But I still enjoyed punk music. I still enjoy punk music now. I will still play in punk bands. But that's who I am. But I wouldn't put a label on. I wouldn't focus as much as the people do in this film on putting a label on that. That's just something I enjoy.
Yeah.
you know?
And the film speaks on that as well. There's a character that loves new wave music.
Yeah.
And loves women. And they struggle with the idea that he's not a homosexual.
Yeah.
And he says, well, I just enjoy what I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I enjoy, you know, I have sex with women,
Yeah.
but I also enjoy new wave music.
But that's the thing, sexuality is slapped on so many things as well. It was then, it was when this film, it was when it was film set, it was when it was released, and it is all these years later too. So many things are, you know, deemed gay if you like them.
Yeah.
When in reality, things are made to be enjoyed. It doesn't matter who enjoys them. Yes, there's a target audience, but that's not, it's not against the law to enjoy something that's not for your target audience.
Exactly. And that's what I find fascinating about this film and why it's so interesting during this season is because traditionally we see these kind of storylines with the cheerleader, the jock, the cool kids at school. They're the ones who say, well, you don't do this, you can't fit in. You're not wearing pink on a Wednesday. Your BMI is too high. Mm-hmm. You're too this, that, and the other. Whereas this film deals with very similar issues, but from who you would deem the outcasts.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you're not enough of an outcast to join us. There's a scene where Steve-O questions his sexuality, just very briefly. He says, am I gay? Mm-hmm. No, you're just desperate to be different.
Yeah.
You're desperate not to be your father, not to be part of corporate America. And that's what I find so fascinating and so interesting. Like, I really enjoyed the dialogue that the film had with that, because you don't see it very often. You don't.
How would you compare it to the 50s of it all from Pleasantville? And the way teens were then and the way they were in the 80s.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, it just shows a massive change in society and the state of the world. In the fact that in the 50s, everything seemed so innocent, and obviously Pleasantville very much proves that it wasn't. But it was always the front they were putting on. Whereas in the 80s, I feel like there was less of a front. I feel like films like Night of the Living Dead and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the middle of the 50s of Pleasantville and the 80s of SLC Punk, I feel like they brought that curtain down. And they had a mirror up and said, look, this is the world. This is the ugliness of the world. And I know SLC Punk was made in the 90s, but it could have been made in the 80s, because there are films like this from the 80s that are like, look, this is actually how the world is. People are miserable.
Yeah. I suppose it's the boomer versus the Gen X. Whereas in the 50s, with the boomers, they were sold on the fact that given hard work and determination, they could be whoever they wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I think with the death of the American dream and with the rise of Ronald Reagan and far-right politics, a lot of Gen X teens realized that the world is really kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And really shit. And they rebelled against that. They didn't believe that story, that things could be good.
Yeah.
Because they were seeing it for themselves. And I think as we progress further and further in time, millennials and Gen Z, I think Gen Z are the generation that have had the most information at their fingertips. And I think they are, in many ways, also very aware of the fact that things are shit. And they become very angry. And I think this is what the film talks about, is having anger and not really knowing where to place it.
Which is why I think when you, outside of the podcast, compared it to Greg Araki, I think that's very much what he does with his films as well.
Yeah. It feels like a Greg Araki film, but heterosexual. Yeah. I mean, it even has James Duvall as a mod. Yeah. Like, James Duvall, a Greg Araki sort of main player in his films. And the party scenes feel very Greg Araki.
Yeah. Which I think in turn comes from Andy Warhol and John Waters. And I think it all leads to this point. And above all else, again, this is just a fantastic film. It is just a great, really great film. You know, I think it's really funny. I think it's really sad at times. Not to quote Bailey J. Mills, but that movie, it made me laugh. It made me cry. And it's, the characters are flawed, but that's what makes them interesting.
Exactly.
And by the time we get to the third act, it still packs a punch because you really get to know them by that point. But I do love it. And it's definitely one of those films that I would put into the category of films that actually had an impact on me. And contributed towards my taste in films.
Nice.
It has an IMDb rating of 7.3 out of 10.
Which is quite high, really. For
Very high,
a teen film.
Letterboxd rating of 3.8 out of 5. I give it 5 out of 5.
I give it 4.5 out of 5.
Soundtrack rating. This is a soundtrack with the like of the Specials, Generation X, Blondie, Ramones, Adamant, The Vandals, Roxy Music, Dead Kennedys.
Spandau Ballet.
11 out of 10.
Yes.
This is phenomenal soundtrack.
10 out of 10.
I love it so much. And the best song is one of my top 5 favourite songs of all time. It is Dreaming by Blondie.
Dreaming by Blondie. Any soundtrack that includes Roxy Music is a winner for me. But Dreaming by Blondie is an incredible song.
Fashion rating, 8 out of 10.
I give it 8 out of 10. They fit the brief of the alternative, sort of counterculture.
Yeah.
Not my personal style. Great wigs.
Yeah.
Great wigs. And I think a mod look is pretty timeless. Apart from the hair. James Duval's hair, was of its time. But I think a mod style is always quite fashionable.
I really like the way Jason Segel dressed, and I actually thought it was quite funny.
Yes.
It was quite funny because I knew one or two guys at the time when I first watched this, when I was in a band, and band members would bring their friends along to gigs and such. One of my band members' friends dressed and looked just like Jason Segel in this film, and he also loved punk music. But never dressed like you'd never guess it to look at him.
No.
Which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah, being true to himself.
But yeah.
Believable
Teens? No. Not even close.
Not
even close.
No way.
And continuing that trend, we're on to Urban Legend.
You're scared, Natalie. Yeah, right.
If you haven't heard the legends,
This guy flips out.
if you don't believe the stories,
My mom still checks the back seat before getting into a car.
if you don't trust the tales,
Hello?
then you're the perfect victim. Urban Legend.
Hey, that hurt.
Rated R. Now playing in theaters everywhere.
Directed by Jamie Blanks, written by Silvio Horta, starring Jared Leto, Alicia Witt, Rebecca Gayheart, and Joshua Jackson. And the premise is a college student suspects a series of bizarre deaths are connected to certain urban legends. This film was, of course, inspired by the huge success of Scream. While that film was a self-aware satire of horror film tropes, this one is a self-aware satire of urban legends. The film's negative reception was a result of critics comparing it too much to Scream and just calling it a cheap imitation. Jennifer Love Hewitt is in this. No, it's not in this. No. Sorry, that is the trivia. Jennifer Love Hewitt is in the other one. I Know What You Did Last Summer. She didn't want to be typecast as a scream queen, so she turned down the role of Natalie, which she was offered because of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Jared Leto hates this film.
Oh.
Makes you love it even more.
I know.
He disowned it, hates it, refuses to talk about it in interviews. Good. Because I feel the same way about Jared Leto. The killer's outfit is based on the fact that the film was originally planned to be set in the middle of winter. When the weather was too warm, it was decided to drop the winter aspect of the storyline rather than fake the snow and all the outdoor scenes and dress all of the extras in winter outfits. But they kept the killer's costume, and I'm glad they did because it is iconic.
Perfect coat to wear to the swimming pool.
And in case you're wondering, all of the urban legends referenced in this film are a caller to the radio show who states that she replaced her roommate's birth control pills with baby aspirin, a caller to the radio show who asks about having her stomach pumped after performing oral sex and ingesting semen, a couple suffering from penis captivus who call into the radio show, The Babysitter and the Man Upstairs legend, Spider Eggs and Bubble Gum as the killer's next move, of course, the Killer in the Back Seat, the Pop Rocks and Coke, and Bloody Mary, which would go on to have its own film in this trilogy.
Certainly did.
Unfortunately. And The Dog in the Microwave. I'm not sure if that was a real one.
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah, the old lady dries her dog in the microwave.
I might have missed some out there, but I think that's most of them. And they're all included in what is one of the best post-Scream slasher films.
Yeah. So obviously we've included this as a highlight in this episode. I don't think that the film says too much about teen life in 1998.
No.
It is essentially a Scream ripoff. But it's probably my favourite Scream ripoff, which is why I wanted to talk about it. Because I really fucking enjoy this film.
Yeah.
Like, I had it on VHS, I watched it religiously, I love Alicia Witt, I love Rebecca Gayheart in this film, I love the urban legends. There's wink wink nudge nudge, the Scream, the meta of it, having Robert Englund as a
Brad Dourif.
Yeah, Brad Dourif. I really enjoyed incorporating the urban legends. It kind of got me for a long time sort of really interested in urban legends, and to this day I find them fascinating. I just really fucking enjoyed this film.
Yeah.
Is it perfect? No, of course not. Is it as good as Scream? No, of course not. But I really dig this film.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, with the cast, Tara Reid as the what is her name in The Fog? Stevie. I mean that's her. Adrienne Barbeau. Yeah, I believe. I don't think it's any coincidence that they're both saucy radio DJs.
Yes.
I feel like it's a direct reference.
Yeah.
And
it's campy.
It's so camp. She's so good. Alicia Witt isn't the best, but works because of that. There's a certain charm to her performance. Rebecca Gay icon. Miss Thing has it down.
She gives it everything she has.
150%.
And that hair is beautiful.
It is. It's stunning.
There's some great hair in this film.
Yeah.
Oh, even Danielle Harris.
Danielle Harris.
Is so campy.
Goth girl Danielle Harris.
Exactly.
Who was in The Wild Thornberrys, by the way?
Oh.
Did you know that?
No.
Well, that's one of the things that I came across whilst doing my research.
And I believe a gay writer from the writer of Ugly Betty. Writer and producer of Ugly Betty. So it has that campiness to it where it's just a real fun film.
Yeah.
Did it change cinema? No. But will I stick this on on a sort of Saturday night for a good horror?
But that's the thing as well.
Absolutely.
It respects horror films. It loves horror films. It's clearly made by a horror fan. The kills are inventive. It's so much fun. And yeah, iconic opening scene with Total Eclipse of the Heart, iconic killer reveal. It has it all. And I do think for critics to just dismiss it as just another Scream ripoff just does it a disservice.
I think it does. It does what Scream did.
Yeah.
It's, meta horror. But hell, I had loads of fun with it.
Yeah. I mean, I know we include it as a highlight, but I don't think there's really much more to say about her.
I mean, not really. I mean, it didn't teach me anything about sex. It didn't teach me anything about the American
teens
dream.
love an urban legend.
Well, they do actually. I mean, I did. Urban legend is part of American storytelling. I mean, all cultures have their own sort of myths and urban legends, but specifically American urban legends are incredibly popular.
Yeah.
Many films have been based on them. Some better films, Black Christmas.
Well, yes.
Do you think Black Christmas started that?
I don't think so. I think it went
the calls
further
are coming
back.
from inside the house.
I think it went further back.
Because obviously, what's that Carol Kane film?
When a Stranger Calls.
Really boring in the middle. When a Stranger Calls. That's clearly based specifically on that urban legend. But do you think the urban legend came before that film? I suppose it would have, wouldn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. But I suppose with urban legends, there's no copyright. So
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it has an IMDb rating of 5.6 out of 10, which is ridiculous.
That's really low.
A Letterboxd rating of 2.8 out of 5, which
That's
is
a bit
ridiculous.
harsh as well.
I give it 4.5 out of 5.
I give it 4 out of 5.
And a soundtrack rating of 8 out of 10. The best song is Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler, but I really like the score.
I love the score. But yeah, 8 out of 10. Best song, of course, Total Eclipse of the Heart, all-time classic.
Fashion rating 8 out of 10. I like the outfits in this film.
It was giving Gap, but sophisticated. Yeah. Like, everyone in the film seemed to dress nicely. Mm-hmm. Not, like, exceptionally well. It wasn't... No. Apart from the end scene, everyone seemed to be, like, dressed really colourfully for some reason. No spoilers. But, yeah, I liked the outfits. They're very classy, very, I don't know. What's her name? No, I lost it. But, yeah, very classy. Like a classy Gap.
Believable teens.
No.
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 No, sorry.
No, I thought about it, but no.
No.
No. I suppose this is one of those things where they're in college, so they're meant to be slightly, or feel slightly older and more sophisticated. I think they dressed older.
I think they definitely dressed older.
Maybe that's where I was getting, yeah.
And, you know, Tyree talking like an erotic novelist as well doesn't give to
Yes. Yeah. True.
On to our final film for the episode, and the final film of our 1998 two-parter. It is, of course, The Faculty.
Critics are saying the fight between students and teachers has never been this much fun.
Oh, sweetie pie.
Oh, yeah.
The Faculty is consistently funny and clever.
But I'm going.
A rip-roaring collaboration between director Robert Rodriguez and writer Kevin Williamson of Scream and Dawson's Creek. A perfect blend of action and comedy. It's The Breakfast Club meets The X-Files.
It's kind of cool.
An entertaining ride from beginning to end. The Faculty.
I always wanted to do that.
Rated R. Now in theaters everywhere.
Directed by Robert Rodriguez, written by Mr. Scream himself, Kevin Williamson, starring Jordana Brewster, Clea Duvall, Laura Harris, and Josh Hartnett. And the premise is when Casey Connor, Harrington High School's newspaper photographer, witnesses the murder of a nurse and sees her alive again, he decides to investigate the bizarre happenings. Interesting stories around this film. It was on the set of this film where Harry J. Knowles first got wind of Peter Jackson making Lord of the Rings into a film and urged Elijah Wood to go for it, even though he had never read the book. And history was made. During a retrospective interview for Halloween H2O, Josh Hartnett acknowledged that hair that can be seen in that film and The Faculty. Both productions hated it, but Hartnett, he intentionally kept cutting his own hair and messing it up to look more like an authentic teen. These antics led to fights with producers and the director of H2O who wanted him fired. Ultimately, that did not occur, and Hartnett finished both films. I mean, it is a crime.
It is bad.
Abysmal.
I feel like, for some reason, it looks worse in H2O. But yeah, it's bad. That hair is bad. I don't understand why he thought that was a great idea. A good idea, let alone a great one.
In 1990, David Wechter and Bruce Kimmel wrote their first draft of the script and sent it out, but there were no buyers. It wasn't until after the success of Scream that Miramax brought the script and rushed it into production. They brought in Kevin Williamson to do rewrites, keeping the basic story but rewriting the dialogue and adding new characters to make it more hip.
Yeah.
Originally, Williamson was set to direct the film, but he chose not to so that he could do teaching Mrs. Tingle. And the scumbags that are the Weinsteins brought in Robert Rodriguez to direct it instead.
This film Is it the most sci-fi film we've discussed so far?
Absolutely.
Because it's horror, but it's really very much sci-fi. I think a teen version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And I think partly post-Scream got it greenlit, but also probably the X-Files being so popular.
Yes.
It feels like it could
so.
have been an episode of the X-Files as well. Obviously with Mulder and Scully replacing the teens, or something alien going on in a high school.
Yeah.
I really dig the film. I like the premise. Again, it's a little like urban legend in that I think there's a little more to it than urban legend in terms of teen cinema and such. But it is just like a fun horror flick.
And very much that thing of being scared of your teachers. I mean, obviously, there's clearly a reason why here. And I think the likes of Piper Laurie, Robert Patrick, Famke Janssen are all incredible as
Salma Hayek.
As the teachers. Famke Janssen, I love her so much.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, Salma Hayek is great. But also, what a cast of up-and-comers.
Yeah.
I mean, Usher, Elijah Wood, it's Josh Hartnett. We also get Clea Duvall playing a lesbian actress playing a heterosexual girl pretending to be a lesbian to scare people off.
Yeah, I think they could have just made her a lesbian.
They definitely could have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this film. It's super fun, and it is the right amount of post-Scream to where you can tell it's Kevin Williamson who has written the film.
Yeah, I also think it's an interesting film that deals with loss of personal identity.
Yeah.
And again, in a lot of teen cinema that we've been discussing and will discuss, personal identity is a huge factor.
It is.
Finding yourself, finding your path as a teen is difficult, and the whole world tells us we should have it all figured out, or we become complacent and lose our personal identity. And I think that's what these body snatching films talk about, and I think it resonates so well with teen cinema as well and high school. It's that fitting in. So to fit in, what do you need to do? Become brainless.
Yeah.
Brainless robots. And everyone talks the same, everyone acts the same, everyone, feels like they've been lobotomized. And I think that resonates massively then and resonates now. I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But above that as well, it also works as just a really good sci-fi horror film.
Oh, yeah. Very much like The Thing in its depiction of paranoia. It's
and a great reference to
effects.
The Thing as well with the blood test scene.
Yeah.
They do their own iteration of it here, and it works really well. But yeah, and I think the way these characters are written as well, with this very specific 90s teen attitude, it adds a lot of nostalgia to it. I didn't watch it until you showed it to me.
No.
But it's still one of those films that still feels so nostalgic, and the CGI helps with that as well, which isn't the best. But it adds charm to it.
Yeah. I find some of the characters annoying. I do.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy all of the teens in the film, but I do. I dig the film.
Wow.
I sound like I'm in the film.
Hip.
I know, right? Sexy and cool.
But yeah, it's super fun, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And I wonder if it'll ever get a Legacy sequel.
No.
Cool. It has an IMDb rating of 6.6 out of 10. A Letterboxd rating of 3.4 out of 5. I give it 4 out of 5.
I give it 3.5 out of 5.
Soundtrack rating 10 out of 10. The best song is the song that opens the film, and it is The Kids Aren't Alright by The Offspring.
Yes, I completely agree. It's teen angst delicious, the soundtrack.
And the fashion rating is a 7 out of 10.
I gave it
generous.
5 out of 10. It's pretty casual. doing your own hair.
Yeah.
There's some good hair from the women though in this film. Yeah. I don't think Piper Laurie stands out with her outfits, but just a reminder, I love Piper Laurie and her hair looks great in the film. Wig?
Probably. Believable teens? No, except Elijah Wood. Who still looks like a teenager now.
Yes.
I don't understand how he does it.
Yeah, there is one specific actor who looks like a teen, and everyone else looks much older.
Yeah. And that brings us to a close with 1998. So how about some honourable mentions?
I mean, so much from 1998.
Yeah.
You can tell this was really the year where the boom really started. Because, like we always say, there are more films that we haven't watched as well. But even ones we have watched and want to discuss, there's loads from 98.
Well, here are some that we didn't include as highlights, but we thought needed a mention. First of all, a dishonourable mention for disturbing behaviour. Which is absolutely abysmal. I feel like it was a product of the faculty, so it'd be interesting to see which one came first, actually.
Yeah.
One ripped off the other, and one did it better. It wasn't disturbing behaviour. Yes, no. James Marsden's always lovely to look at, but this is fucking boring.
Yeah, it was dull. I barely remember anything from it.
Yeah. Halloween H2O, the other Josh Hartnett hair film, which was all very nearly a highlight, because I think it's incredibly interesting that a sequel 20 years later to, in my opinion, the greatest horror film ever made, a film that was a massive part in why Scream exists, turned out to be a post-Scream slasher. And an incredibly post-Scream slasher. I mean, you know, it's definitely a case of you'd think Kevin Williamson wrote the film. You know?
Yeah.
But I love it. It's so camp, so charming. Jamie Lee Curtis is incredible in it. She's the best thing about it. Her and her Chardonnay today. And Michael Myers with those eyebrows. The CGI eyebrows.
Yeah, I think it begins to do that thing that 2018 Halloween does. Is where it discusses trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Yes, trauma.
Yeah, did you hear me? Trauma. Which is interesting, but that also makes Laurie Strode the most interesting character in a teen film. So it's a bit like, do we need the teen stuff?
Yeah.
Or could we just talk about Laurie?
Do you know what has in common with the faculty?
What now?
They both have Creed on the soundtrack.
Arms wide open.
Next up, Rushmore, which is Wes Anderson.
Yes.
Wes Anderson, a fantastic coming-of-age film. Incredibly interesting, fantastic performances from Jason Schwartzman.
Didn't know you were that familiar with him.
Jason Schwartzman, and as much as we hate him, undeniably Bill Murray, probably what might be his best role.
Yes.
Yeah, just a fantastic comedy that is worth watching. I don't know what else to say. I love Rushmore.
It's one of those films where it kind of teaches you that main characters are allowed to be annoying.
Yeah.
Now, we already knew that because we watch Sex and the City religiously. But the guy's kind of annoying, but I enjoy his story and I enjoy the performance, and we'll see. I think we'll see maybe something similar with Election.
I think so.
Yeah. For
sure. I think the two are very similar.
Yeah, so maybe that's why we didn't choose it as a highlight.
And finally, a film that is entirely based on whether or not its audience knows whether or not Rio is the capital of Brazil.
Stop.
It's I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, one of the most dumb yet camp and entertaining sequels I have ever seen.
I really enjoy watching I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, but it's dumb.
Yeah.
It is a dumb film.
I fully believe it's being serious, and I do think it's so bad it's good.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, that's 1998, and you can find us on all social media by searching the name of the podcast, and if you could go give us a rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening to this, we'd be so grateful. And also, we are just on Instagram. I don't know why I keep saying all social media. It's just a habit. You could also buy us a coffee as well. Go to the link in our bio and be generous. But you don't have to. You can just sit and enjoy the podcast. It's fine. Next episode, we are delving into what has been hailed as the greatest movie year ever.
Oh.
We'll find out when we discuss 1999 in another two-parter, where the first part we'll be discussing Varsity Blues, She's All That, Jawbreaker, Go, Cruel Intentions, 10 Things I Hate About You, The Rage Carry 2, Never Been Kissed, and Dick. That's an interesting
title. My bottom hurts just thinking about
I cannot wait to dive into 1999.
Yes. Yeah, you thought 1998 was good. Wait for the sequel.
Yes. We'll be back, same time, same place with more 90s in 2 weeks' time.
Bye.